a sticky note or any small piece of paper,
a pen, or just anything that you can use to write on or draw on the sticky note, a blank sheet of paper, a pair of scissors, and some tape, and a pencil and an eraser. Okay, so first you're gonna grab your sticky note, and you're also gonna grab your pen. And what we're gonna do first is that we're gonna create a form on the right side of our sticky note. Now, this form can be an organic shape or it can be a more complex human made shape. For now, I'm going to stick to a more simpler organic form. And remember, you want your form to start from the top of the sticky note and end all the way down from the to the sticky note. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so there's my form, and as we can see, it starts all the way from the top and ends all the way at the bottom. Now that we have drawn this form on the right side of our sticky note, we shall proceed to cut. Now, for this step, we will need scissors. Please be careful when using these. Don't feel pressure to cut rapidly. Remember, take your time and be patient. So basically, it doesn't really matter if we cut from top to bottom or bottom to top, as long as we cut the shape that we have created on the right side of our sticky note. That is what truly matters. So let's go ahead and do that. I will cut from bottom to top. Okay, so now for the next step of our tessellation, we are going to need some tape. And basically, what you're going to do is you're going to grab the right side that you just cut out, the positive space, and you're going to stick it onto the left side of your tessellation right here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to grab my tape. And remember, you're going to want enough tape to cover the bottom and the top of your tessellation, so basically enough tape that covers the whole length of your sticky note. Let me go ahead and cut that out. And remember, the tape shall go, it doesn't really matter, it can either go behind your sticky note or on top. I will put mine on top. Okay, now part 3 of our process. So now we're gonna create another form on the top. Now this form can be as big as you want. You can either start it from the edge of the top and make it end all the way to the other edge, or maybe you want it shorter. It's really all up to you. I think I will be using all the space on the top, and once again, you can either use an organic form or a more complicated human related form. So let me show you guys my shape that I've chosen, my form. So now that we have our form here at the top, we're going to go ahead and cut it out. So now that we've cut out the top of our tessellation, we're going to want to tape it down here in the bottom. So go ahead, grab your tape, and remember, you want enough tape to cover the whole width of the bottom. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, now that we've moved on to our next step, it is designing our tessellation. Now, at this point, it's really all up to you what you want your tessellation to look like. It really is all up in what you see in the shape or what you want to make of it. I think for mine, I see a little beak here, so who knows, I might make that into a face, or I could make this section here into a face. It's really all up to you guys what you want to do with your tessellation. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So as we can see, I made a lot of shapes out of my tessellation because I just saw a lot of potential in it overall for it to be many things. So once again, like, have fun doing this, make your tessellation your own, and just don't stick to any rigid design. Really just go with the flow. Now that you have created your design, it's time to put your tessellation on a blank sheet of paper. So now you're going to take your tessellation and you're going to want to place it on the edge of your blank sheet of paper. Now again, it doesn't really matter which edge you choose to put it on, either on the left edge or here on the right. And basically from here, you're gonna trace your tessellation onto your paper. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that you've traced your tessellation on your paper, go ahead and pull it up so you can see how it looks like. Wow, pretty sick, huh? So now that we've traced our first tessellation, we're gonna go ahead and match it to see where it kind of falls on the page. So in this case, it matches perfectly on to the right of our first figure. So you're gonna go ahead and fill that in. You're gonna go ahead and wanna draw that in. And there we go. We now have the second spot of our page filled. And much like a puzzle piece, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom. We're going to align our figure with our first tessellation that we drew here. So let's align the top onto that bottom right there. And like I said, just go ahead and trace that out. And voila, now we have 3 tessellations. So you're going to basically want to do that for the rest of the page. So this is how it should look like once you've placed your tessellation all over your page. Now, once you've done this, you're going to want to look at your original design and just really link where your shapes would kind of fall in the design that you have laid out right here. So, for example, I see that, in this case, my little bird face would land around here in this upper right corner of this tessellation. So I'm going to go ahead and just do my best to estimate where these designs would fall. once you've finished drawing all your designs onto all your tessellations, it should look something like this. So it should really look like you have a bunch of negative and positive space just mixed in together, just like one big puzzle piece, really. I hope this video was of help to you guys who are curious in making tessellations, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I wish you much luck on your tessellation creation.